What is up, everybody? We are in the pit once again. Josh the Mosh. Already, Ryan. Good evening. I'm here, but I'll be back in just a moment. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Top supporter, top fan, whatever the hell they call that shit. Whatever it is, you're the best. That's all I know. We just call it the best. Um, Normally, I bring in Numero Dos to get the show going, but he's possibly off tonight. So we're going to bring in Numero Tres. We just go to the next number, huh?
I know, right? Yeah, actually, it's a funny fact. I am rocking the shirt, Bochacho Tres.
Perfect. Perfect, man. How's it going, man?
Man, it's been a while, man. Doing good, man. Glad to be back.
Welcome back, man. You were missed. Everybody wants that knowledge you drop all the time.
I know. Things have been crazy in Japan in general.
I mean, things have been crazy. Period.
Yeah, you ain't lying there. Hey.
But yeah, let's get caught up on the New Japan.
You sure? Okay. So I know it's been a while since we've had a puro segment. So I'm gonna just quickly recap you guys. Sorry, I don't have any pictures. I was, but that's okay. We're gonna make this work. Okay.
Yeah.
So the major thing that's been happening lately is Dontaku happened last week. So they turned to night 1 and night 2. Now, unfortunately, I'm gonna talk about this in a second with the trend I'm seeing with New Japan, but due to the pandemic and due to, I would say, some very questionable booking, New Japan's interest, in my opinion, from what I've seen and just hearing from other podcasts, the interest has gone down in North America. I mean, they're doing very North American sports entertainment type of booking. Yes. So, for example, they had this blindfolded nonsense match between Yano and Evil. Now, mind you, Evil, a former IWGP heavyweight champion, he's in the names there.
Headliner.
And he's doing some nonsense like this. And honestly, it's gotten to a point where a lot of the mid-card and lower card New Japan stuff is passable at this point. And so not only that, so in the past, the situation would be where the Road to shows where, yes, there's a lot of multi-man, but that's where they built the storylines. And that's where, and really, you can miss them, but it's kind of like AEW Dark. Like, you get more out of New Japan if you watch the Road to shows. Well, because of everything that's been happening with the pandemic, with attendance being lower and whatnot, they've been running a lot more Road to shows. As a result of that, we've been seeing a lot of multi-man matches over and over and over again. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get as much money as they can by selling gates, right? But as a result of that, and a result of having a smaller roster, we're not seeing anything of substance in these Road to shows. It's really making it hard to really keep up with New Japan. I'm not gonna lie. So, for example, with these Dontaku shows, we're talking about Dontaku it's a big event. We're talking about stuff we've seen in the past with Omega, Okada, Tanahashi, Jay White. And honestly, there's only like 3 major things to talk about out of 2 nights.
That's not New Japan style.
That's not at all. No. And honestly, and it's funny. I was talking to someone. So there's this other group called the Classic Japanese Group, and it's full of old school puro guys who were tape traders and whatnot. Right? They're just getting, hey, what's everyone's thoughts on New Japan? And they feel just like me. They'll hop in and out for a match here and there if they hear something that's hot. But the days of watching a full show, man. It's I don't know when that's gonna come back. I hope soon, but I don't know. But yeah, so the significant thing out of night 1 really is Jay White beat Tanahashi for the IWGP never open weight title. So because of the IC and the heavyweight got combined together, what happened was it made the never open weight belt the secondary belt. Now, as a result of that, what type of matches we would get with never open weight has changed. So before, that belt was for like the heavy hitters, was for your Shibatas, for your like El Dragon, stuff like guys, Ishii, guys who are just heavy hitters. But now it's being turned into the secondary belt So those classic matches, we're just not gonna get anymore. So it's actually like kind of like a change mentally that we have to do, right? Oh, de vera, el puto. I mean, hey, I'm not the one who got banned on Facebook there, motherfucker. Hey, and
He's
like,
good at being banned, I guess.
right? Hey, in 2 weeks you can respond back to me though. But yeah,
Mhm.
so that's really what happened in night one. Night two, we actually got some decent matches for the most part. So Zack Sabre Jr. he actually beat Tangaloa, and actually was able to get a rematch now. So we're gonna see the Dangerous Techers versus God again for the belt in the future. Again,
Yeah.
again. But hey, I'm open for Dangerous Tigers. Oh, and then I saw quite possibly, the worst ladder match I've seen in a very long time between Taichi and Tamatanga. Now, these two guys aren't really known for taking big spots. So I don't know whose idea thought it was to put two guys that didn't want to do
Do
ladder spots.
anything nature stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Dude, and then like so they were going for the gold the iron hand, which is what Taichi was, that's his thing.
Yeah.
That's he uses, right? So they put it in a plastic bag, looks like a shopping bag, on top for them to grab it, and then the biggest spot was actually Dookie. It was so bad. They were like, "Hey Dookie, we want you to take the spot." And he took it like he almost like broke his tailbone. Like he took a really bad spot. And that shit lasted like 17, 20 minutes. It went on for no, I think it was like 30. It went on for a long time.
Probably
It was
felt longer. Yeah, it sounds like it would have felt longer.
See, and that's the thing about New Japan is it like they're so obsessed with having your 30-minute classics that it's no longer about, hey, is these two wrestlers, let's see what they can do. It's more like, oh, they're in this spot, they have to go this long. It's nonsense, right?
Yeah.
But fuck all that, because we had possibly one of the greatest matches I've seen in my life. Osprey versus Shingo. Let me tell you right now,
Nice.
it's
I heard about it.
yes. So this is their fourth match. In my opinion, their original Best of Super Junior finals was better because I didn't know who was going to win, and I really thought Osprey was going to win this because he just won the belt. But the crazy thing is, like, all the spots they did, it was a unique match. It was a true heavyweight match, and the match went for like 30-some minutes. I think maybe 40 minutes, something like that. But it didn't feel like it. I'm telling you right now, it is nonstop action. It like they reference spots from in the past. It was, I mean, words cannot really describe it. Even Meltzer gave it 6 stars, blah blah blah. But it's gotten to a point where, so in my opinion,
67 stars. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Whatever the fuck. Who gives a fuck?
What's significant though is that we're when it comes to feuds now, right? We have your Okada's Tanahashi's, your obviously Okada versus Omega. We're not yet to put Shingo versus Osprey in there because all 4 matches have been stellar. And not only that, I'm gonna say right now, these for the best wrestler in the world, we have 1A, 1B. Shingo Takagi, who has never had, I'm sorry, God, I've never seen a bad match of his. I follow his stuff in All Japan, follow his stuff in Dragon Gate. Never seen a bad match of his. Watch his stuff in PWG with Ebola. Never a bad match. And Osprey, ever since he become this heavyweight assassin, he's a go-to guy. He's a go-to guy. So, unfortunately, okay, está bien. Estúpido. But the thing is, it's like, unfortunately,
fuck that guy.
I hope that Osprey is not, his reign is not determined by what's happening with the rest of New Japan, because it's not indicative of what's happening there, right? And now even worse now, unfortunately. So they were gonna have 2 dome shows coming up, right? No, actually, my head looks very nice, actually. That's why I don't want, And hey, show us your.
Probably why you don't wear a mask.
Days, right? Yeah, there's a reason why you wear a mask there. But yeah, so we were gonna have 2 dome shows, but the pandemic has actually gotten worse out there in Japan. So all the promotions have been shutting down again. Either they've been running empty arena shows, or like New Japan, they just canceled both dome shows, which is supposed to happen either this week or next week. I think it was like next week, right? So unfortunately, so with New Japan, I don't know what's coming up next because everything's on pause. Right? Find out what happened, yeah. And honestly, so of course they're doing all this because of the Olympics that will possibly happen. So maybe after the Olympics, they're gonna run the Best of Super Juniors and G1 again. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect with New Japan right now. But what can you do? But hey, regardless though, is she here? Is Melanie here?
Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of throw it over to her to say, because what's been awesome about New Japan is seeing guys like fucking Yuji Nagata and fucking AEW Dynamite fucking killing it, and AEW treating New Japan guys correctly. And with that being said,
You said AEW like 3 times, so there's Melanie. Boom.
right?
That's how it works. You saying AEW, then our AEW expert pops in.
I'm so excited, and what a great segue though. I'm just so excited that AEW is actually like opening and kicking open the forbidden door, because they're like with New Japan and with Impact, like those are some of the dream matches we've been wanting to see, and I love the fact that they're actually making it happen. And not just that, but they're keeping the tradition that New Japan already has with like the young boys. So like last night he brought his young boy, he was out there, they gave each other the the bow at the end. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's really good.
It was just a great moment, and it was a great moment of respect. I actually thought that Moxley was going to lose it, only because I thought maybe, okay, they're going to want to take it back. But
I keep thinking that, but yeah, it doesn't happen.
So right now, like Moxley is what's keeping, really, in my opinion, North American interest in the product. So why remove from him? Just keep it on him.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the end, just with everything going on, they've made a point to say that he's the one who beat Lance Archer for it. So maybe they're setting something up for that. But then I saw them set something up with for the TNT title with Miro. So they're definitely playing Lance Archer somewhere in a title shot, whether it's with New Japan or with the TNT. It's there, which I love, because I love the Murder Hawk. He's great. And
sure.
Jake as his mouthpiece is just brilliant.
Oh yeah, Jake on the mic, it's about as good as it gets.
Oh, so
in my
great.
opinion, one of my personal favorites.
Can we just this involves AEW, but it also involves your PPW champion. Can we just talk about if she's alive after her match with Tay Conti, after some of those bumps she took?
Yeah, she's alive. I mean, she was there Saturday. She showed up on Saturday trying to take out everybody and took over the show whenever. Seems like she felt like she was in charge after I got taken out.
Well, let's see how she feels this week after the match she had with Tay Conti on Monday. So
that one too, yeah.
I would definitely check on your champion.
That was Monday. I thought that was Friday. That's right.
No. So check on your champion, see how she's doing, and then if you need, if she needs to forfeit to Chandler, I'm totally for it. It's fine. I'm not mad at her.
Angel doesn't know what's happening. Yeah, Angel doesn't know what we're talking about. He wasn't able to make it. He's trying to be Father of the Year and be an awesome dad, so he wasn't able to make it. That's that's absolute truth. Like doing a good thing. So totally excused.
But just circling back to the show,
she was mean at the show first time I met her, and she acted like I'm supposed to know her.
Yeah, Rayo, that's the attitude. That's her diva attitude. Hey, how you doing? That's her diva attitude that she's picking up from AEW. I don't know where she's getting it from, but I feel like somebody needs to slap the taste out of her mouth to bring her back down. I
think Maddie. I think that was pre-AEW. This has been Maddie since I can remember. I mean, I do in the beginning. I do remember she was a little nicer, but it didn't last very long.
No, it didn't. It didn't at all. But I enjoyed the PPW shows. A lot of hard hits, a lot of fun. So if you guys are out for the next one, or if you guys are around at Kingsville for the next one, go hit it up. Buy your tickets. It was an awesome show. Support.
I need to ask you something though.
Uh-oh.
Or I want to see how it's possible that I saw a promo pic of a certain masked jackass that crashed the show from using your equipment.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I had my camera on a tripod, and I have a remote, and I think that while I was away, somebody took photos. I must admit he used damn good lighting, but you had the lighting set up.
You had the lighting set up because you were cranking out those pictures, so it was set up and perfect. I'm not
It
giving him
was,
zero
though.
fucking credit for anything except being a douchebag that goes where he's not doesn't belong.
Straight up ruined the band sign. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Hey, I will say though, he runs pretty fucking fast because T-Ray is going after him, dude. Yeah, I've never I didn't think he could move that fast. I'm like, damn, okay.
He's gonna need to move
Yeah.
faster than that if he shows up again.
I think that if T-Ray were chasing me, I'd like move my little chubby legs fast too. I'd haul ass.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You never know how fast you are until someone's chasing you that you're really scared of.
And
He
I don't
probably
think
didn't
I'd
know he
want-
was that fast.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want T-Ray chasing me either.
Yeah, he probably didn't know he could run that fast either.
Yeah. But guys, just circling back real quick to AEW, there's
yeah.
just so much stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff. Kenny is now like Kenny 4 belts now.
Okay, 4 belts,
So
yeah.
I mean, there's been a little bit of controversy surrounding the belts because not this past show, but the show before, he came out only wearing 2 of the belts and not wearing like the Impact belt. And I guess a lot of people from Impact, the wrestlers there, felt like he wasn't giving it the proper credit and giving it the proper.
So then he wore them all like all the way up to his chin, right?
So he wore them all.
Yeah, that had to be a.
That was another thing. And I get it, but at the same time, I was like, it was. I felt like it was part of a bit, but maybe it shouldn't have. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I didn't think it was to discredit the belts at all.
I will say though, Kenny might be Kenny 3 belts soon because I don't know if you guys saw this, but someone in AAA, hey buddy, someone in AAA called La Sombra actually called him out to fight at. Yeah,
that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we touched on it last week a little bit, but yeah, that's happening. I'm super excited
that's another one. I mean, Kenny Omega is going to be kept so busy lately because he's got all those belts, and I'm here for it. I love it. Keep him working. And also, there was a little bit of controversy last night regarding the Cody Rhodes promo that he cut.
Yeah.
And I get the controversy, but I also understand where the point is. It had to circle around to where for one night and one night only, he's going back to being the American Dream. He's going to be in the American Dream. So he had to play into that whole, not foreigner, but kind of whole stance, that whole 80s, 90s thing. But a lot of people didn't like it, but I get it. I understand you have to set something up to go into the American Dream. So I get it. Could it have been better? Sure, but
here we are talking about it.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I always come back to.
About it. I'm just curious to see what's the difference between a dream and a nightmare? Is he gonna come out in polka dots, or is he gonna come out like in some old school workman's outfit? It's fine to say I'm gonna be the dream. Oh, that's cool, okay, but what does that mean? I'm honestly hoping he comes out in some kind of polka dots. Yeah, I really hope he comes out in some kind of polka dots. Right. And it's not just Justin Roberts saying, "Oh, the American Dream, Cody Rhodes." I mean, then what was the point? So he's gonna do some of this, little action.
Yeah. I hope he brings some kind of a tribute, and it's not just the name. Because I mean, if you're gonna use the name, you should tribute something. Use something that was, the American Dream's Dusty Rhodes moves, or dancing or something.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be really cool if he actually came out to his Working Man song.
But here we are talking about it, and now we're all wondering what he's gonna do.
Yes, exactly.
How bad and all these complaints, and he should have done this and that. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I totally agree. I mean, and that's the thing. And that's the thing with AEW. Even the even the Young Bucks, they play on that. Their whole BTE, the way they're changing their profile photos and profile bio on Twitter, it's playing into all the complaints that all these marks and all these fans have. And it's like, okay, dudes, we get it. You want to complain about everything. But, sometimes you just have to sit back and relax and forget some of your wrestling knowledge and just enjoy the damn show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Quick question, because I was surprised when Moxley came out to Wild Side, which a lot of people don't know, is actually Onita's theme song. I was like, oh shit, is that gonna be like a permanent thing, or was that just like a one-time thing because he was doing it again?
I don't know. I'm actually curious about that
I
too.
saw
I
some
want to know.
confusion about that. Yeah, I saw some confusion about that. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like his new theme." I'm like, was it really a new theme, or was it just this one time because this match theme?
Yeah. Please,
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it would have made more sense too if he came out to it during his death match, because that shit would have been great. You know, Onita and all stuff like that. Big fan of Onita.
Always Brian.
Sorry,
Always Brian.
he's just here to harass.
I know, but you know what?
Bombs.
Look at this, guys. I just wanted to show you guys where I'm at real quick. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm out scouting a location right now.
Oh.
Bombs. Mail bombs.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if you guys know where I'm at, but I'm not saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
Not saying, but you're saying.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying exactly.
What's up, Rod? Too.
Rod too.
Very cool. Well, if you have a few more minutes, we can go ahead.
I was gonna say one last thing. We did have a title change last night, which I'm so surprised it wasn't on the. It's not going to be on the pay-per-view, but Miro, Darby Allin absolutely tore the house down, and I'm so excited to say Miro is the new TNT champion, dude. The best man. I love him.
No longer the best man. He's no longer the best man. Enough with that nonsense. He's finally the beast that we wanted him to be. Like, yes, and it was against someone perfect, because Darby plays amazing, just like coming from behind babyface. Even at times, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna come back. Like when he did the fist pump with Sting, I'm like, oh shit, he's definitely gonna come back after that. Come on, he has the power Sting. You know?
No, that was great. That kid's really good.
But you know what? I have loved Miro. I have loved him since WWE, and I love him now. And I loved the best man shtick because I knew it was going to lead to something else. But the way it brought it in, the way he brought it in as the best man was like, to me, was perfect. I was here for it. I mean, and it led him to a different side.
So almost some of that Gucci stuff. Shit.
Sorry, real quick. Shout out to JoJo's mama. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, JoJo's mama.
Sorry, that just random. That's what we do in the pit. Fan interaction. Gotta love it. Yeah, so since you're here, we're gonna do a quick recap of PBW because you had a pretty good seat for the show, I would say. Better than I did. You got to see the whole show. I didn't quite make it out of intermission.
I know. I wonder what happened.
A piece of trash. I don't even know how I get so pissed off. It's hard to even speak because I'm just gonna cuss and cuss and cuss. I mean, so we crowned. Let's see, how do we start? We started with debuting the Cult of Crowley. Made a very impressive debut against some hybrid guys.
I love the Cult of Crowley. I think that Lilith is gorgeous but dangerous.
Yeah, like you're like wow, but wow.
Don't. Yeah. But I just think that Crowley is deadly with those legs. But damn, I mean, Casey Blackrose, I am still in awe of him because I still see him as a trainee. But when he gets out there, he's just somebody totally different. I was really, really happy to see them debut.
Yeah, they did a great debut, and they went over. And then after that, we crowned the first ever Mosh Chingon champion. Yeah, that didn't quite work out. They tried to be slick with that too, because them royal taxation bastards brought back the finger poke of doom, and then I guess we'll call it the kiss of doom.
I guess. Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what to call that crap. With Bryson Scott pinned Richie with his kiss. So of course that pissed me off. So then that led to me reminding him what it means to be the Mosh Chingon champion in PBW is that you have to take an open challenge every show. And like I said last night, it's like, and we were having a show. So guess what? You're having an open challenge right fucking now. Basically is what happened. And then so we had another PBW debut. The gutter snake, Izzy James, decided to surprise everybody and show up. And
kill it. I mean, I honestly thought, okay, the title's already going to change hands because he went out there and killed it. I mean, that guy delivers every single time he's in the ring.
Yeah, he's so great.
I
don't know how he didn't come back with the title, but holy crap, he's so great. Yeah, and then we had the match that everybody was kind of talking about and really were into was Ruben Still versus Cuervo, which I know everybody was bummed that Remedy didn't make it, but Cuervo stepped up. Yeah, I think you can agree, Mel.
Oh man, yeah, he stepped up. I mean, it was a crazy match. I was dodging chairs.
Yeah, and it was
I
for
was
the
dodging
Wrestle Blocks
chairs.
Championship. Yeah, everybody was dodging chairs. I had the venue manager messaging me during the match saying, "You said only 3 chairs. That's like 30 chairs." I was like, "Well, they didn't break all of them. I mean, just because they're throwing them doesn't mean they're breaking them."
Exactly.
Ruben Steele is Ruben Steele. And that was an amazing match, which should be dropping tomorrow. We've dropped all the matches that I've set up to now have already been dropped on our YouTube channel and shared everywhere. Ruben Steele versus Cuervo should be dropping tomorrow.
I wish I was better prepared for that beer spot. I would have had my mouth open so I get some beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I got sprayed with it, but I didn't actually drink any. I felt kind of like I got cheated.
Yeah.
Next time.
For Angel, there was a beer spot. Ruben tried to give Cuervo a beer mid-match, and then Cuervo, of course, he can't drink it with the mask.
Of course.
So that pissed off Ruben, and Ruben smacked the shit out of him with it, and then he took the beer and gave it to Eddie, and Eddie, the referee, helped him.
Awesome.
Chug it. Yeah, it was pretty great.
Wow, Nastico, you know, considering you borrowed my equipment, I mean, come on, dude.
We should all press charges. I mean, I haven't even thought about that, but I should press charges on him, right? Like for assault.
Yeah. And then he's like,
because I usually don't roll that way, but he's a punk ass.
Over here talking about I'm free carjacking, and I'm like shorter than you thought. How tall do you think I was, bro? I don't understand.
Like, not our fault that you don't know how to do things. It's like, because you're stupid ass. Hate that guy. I mean, y'all know I hated that guy, but now after Saturday, I hate him. Like, I didn't think it was possible to hate him anymore.
I know.
But literally, like, we're singing my son happy birthday at Charlie's birthday brawl. My 10-year-old on his birthday, like real birthday. Wasn't a gimmick or some bullshit. Like, literally, his friends were there from school with the cake and balloons, and like it was a birthday party happening there too. And then this bastard comes from behind and low blows me, because of course, what else is he gonna do, right? I mean,
you have to sucker everybody. Come on, man.
Yeah.
See, I'm curious how he was able to sneak in.
I don't know. I don't know.
We don't have security. People know better.
I mean, the dude's pretty damn big and kind of, you know. I mean,
but he was in disguise. I didn't mention that. He was totally in disguise, covered in some kind of trash bag running.
Yeah, he was wearing a trash bag.
He got it at the dollar store.
Wait, but does he normally wear a trash bag on his face? Like,
no, it was over that one. It was like double bag.
Oh, double trash. Oh wow, so he was double trashy. What?
Yeah,
that's at least that's what we know. We don't know how many layers he has under that other one.
We're a trash guy, so.
Yeah. Oh, we got volunteers for security. Yeah, and so that's why if y'all are wondering why I don't have the band sign anymore. After he, of course, dropped me with a low blow, which, like I said, that's pretty much kryptonite to any man, especially when you don't see it coming.
Yep.
Then he decided to smash that sign on my head.
Totally unprofessional, Nastic. You are not the best manager.
But just so y'all know, he's no longer banned from PPW. In fact, he's openly invited to PPW because I want to see how he can try to act when he's coming face to face instead of behind sneaking in through the back fucking door. And we'll see how that goes for him.
Yeah.
So he's not banned anymore.
I don't think it's going to end well for him. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to throw that out there.
And then, okay, so let's just move on past that worthless piece of shit because we have our guests ready to go here in about a minute. We had a #1 contender match real quick. We'll just run through it. Alejandra the Lion versus Roche Chanel. Lion came out with the win, and then Maddie decided to take over the show because I was incapacitated, so she named herself the commissioner, which that's not even a real title in PPW. Like there wasn't a commissioner before. I don't know how there is one now. decided that the open challenge was going to be answered by the new number 1 contender right then and there. So a tired Alejandra Lyon had to, get her title shot right then and there. Maddie came out victorious.
Yeah.
And then we went to our main event, which was a great main event with 50 cal Barrett Brown versus Chandler Hopkins.
Killer match. That was
I
such
think
a
it was
killer
an
match.
amazing match. That'll be out very soon. And sorry, our guest is putting a note up. No one else can see it but me. So we'll get there. I'm sorry, I get distracted. He's ready to go. And still, Chandler Hopkins. We'll just say that. We'll be dropping that match by this weekend, if not by Monday. And then Maddie decided to come back out again and challenge him for a title versus title main event at our next show. And Chandler greatly accepted. And then she tried to get the. What do you think about her trying to get the drop on him? And he just kind of. I knew Mel liked that spot.
I thought for a second he was gonna drop her, but he was nice. He was very gentlemanly about it, and he just pushed her stupid fat foot away. Good for him.
Well, there you go. That's how we'll end it. Thank you so much, Mel. You can get back to scouting. We'll just leave it at that because we'll drop those. Those matches are coming. We can talk a little bit more about them even next week. But once we get them all released.
All right, guys.
But thank you so much.
Always. Bye, guys. I'll talk to you
Happy
later.
hunting. Yeah, man, you missed a pretty decent show. I mean, I'm totally biased, but you'll see the matches drop. But
I'm excited. Let's do it.
Our guest has been patiently waiting. He was actually been waiting for probably almost half an hour. He's been here the whole time. But he knows. No, I mean, now we're just a minute or so late. But let's get to our special guest, the Honey Badger himself, Neil Cutter. How are you? Welcome to the pit.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Did I say that right?
Yeah. Well, you're in Missouri now.
Lo dijiste bien.
No, bien. That's all I got, man. This is as far as I get as far as being bilingual.
I mean, considering that you wrestle a lot in ACW and Austin, I'm sure you probably picked up a lot of good words out there.
No, I've only been there once.
Only once?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went down with the hooligans and we wrestled 3 big, like carny-looking motherfuckers. Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to curse?
No, you can curse. This is the fucking.
You curse all the time.
Oh, okay.
No, you're good.
I was gonna ask you guys if you were Testament fans because they have a song called "Into the Pit."
That's part of where the name came from. I'm not a huge fan, but I listen to all that, and I'm old.
Oh, that's a good song at least.
Yeah, no.
Into the pit.
Yep.
Sorry, you got sidetracked.
No, it's all good.
But time too. It's all good.
Yeah, I wrestled at ACW once in a trios match with the hooligans. One of the few trios match we did, and then I wrestled at Heavy Metal in another trios match, like either the night before or the night after, something like that. It's all on the same weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, only twice in Texas.
Right. Well, you're coming back though. But you're coming back because you're going up against our man Ruben Steele.
Yes, I'm going to come down and I'm going to make sure he bleeds about 2 gallons of blood.
Yes. Oh my God.
Hey, I got one to pick with him.
I'm sure that excites him.
Yeah, no, he's excited. Yeah. He's
no, it's going to be great. We just had him this weekend on my show. It wasn't a death match. It was just a false count anywhere match, but it got a little bloody. We had a little bit of a little taste of death match stuff, but not. It wasn't a. Everyone goes, "Oh, it was a death match." It's like, no, it was a.
Well, like I like to call dudes like they used to call them deathmatch guys, but since everyone's hybrids now, I like to call it deathmatch specialists because like we may do death matches and some of us do them exclusively, me included in that. But like, we're specialists. We can do other stuff. I just had a normal match last weekend in Arkansas, and we brawled at the beginning of it, threw me in the ring, bell started, match officially started. So like there's ways around it. There's always a way to get color.
For sure.
That is for sure.
So let me ask you. So then, what actually got you? Because obviously you said you can wrestle regular style as well. So what really got you into being like a deathmatch specialist?
Oh, well, when I first got asked if I wanted to do them, Ian Ron asked me about it. And I'm like, well, to be honest, the most like death match I know is like Born to Be Wired, Sabu versus Terry Funk.
Very fun.
And
Yes.
you know, this is 2009, so there's a pretty good collection of death matches and tournaments done by that time. So, you know, he gave me a ton of King of Death DVDs to review and look over. And I was watching 2008, and it was Danny Havoc and Devin Moore in the finals. And they came off the scaffold together, and just whole tournament just blew my mind. And from that point forward, I was like, okay, I want to do these, or at least try to do them. And was it at King of Death 2011? Like I had started building up a lot of respect for Drake Younger and guys like him, Scotty Vortex, you know, guys who were being innovative with the deathmatch stuff. And then 2011 King of Death, I got to wrestle Drake on my birthday because it was past midnight on night one.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
In his infamous long shows.
Yeah.
So I got to wrestle him, and then later that night, I got to watch Masada and JB Whitmer steal the show, in my opinion, for a normal match. And just
Yeah,
after
Masada
that
can
point,
win.
I was like, yeah. After that, I was like, that dude is the best dude in America. That dude is the best in the States right there, Masada. Like,
Yes.
after that, I've been following his career, and like just really, Prince was me putting my toe in the pool, where King I kind of dived head first in, and you can see I got pretty fucked up during that whole weekend. And then after that, I realized, okay, I could probably do this for the long term, and just off to the races we were.
And so you said that was in 11?
When I won Prince of Death, it was 2010,
10.
and then
So that's about 4 years into your wrestling career? Is that
no,
right? I was about to
No,
say, so
I
when did the wrestling first start? Yeah.
I started wrestling in 2003.
3. Okay.
Right?
So my
The weekend
my
I
head's
turned 18, I started wrestling on the indies.
Okay.
So I was a yarder who got secondhand training. A friend went to school. He came back and was an excellent trainer because he could repeat everything that he just learned the day before. So I did get decent training. It just wasn't direct training per se.
Gotcha.
And
So-
just been working ever since about 2003. So I was about 6-7 years in when I got into IWA Mid-South and like really learned, you know, that there's a bigger world out there than just Illinois.
Gotcha. So if we go back to like say 2008 and we ask you, hey, what are you going to be when you grow up? Was the answer hardcore wrestler?
At the time,
When you're about 12, 13 years old?
you mean 1998? You said 2008.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 98. Sorry.
So
I've
I
been
was
hitting
about
the
to
head
say, I was
recently.
like, wait, I was
I've been
already
hitting the head
wrestling by then.
recently. I've been hitting the wrestling recently. Sorry.
My memory serves me right. I think it was 97, 98 is when I saw WCW. And my memory says it was Glacier versus DDP. That was the match, but the date apparently is way longer in the 90s than I remember it. I remember it being earlier in their careers. But, you know, my memory is shit. So
Yeah.
I saw that, and Glacier came out, and he had all the cool, like, gimmicks going on. And I was like,
Yeah.
that dude looks like Sub-Zero. That dude's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what everybody
And,
we're kind of like mixed. Sub-Zero's pretty cool.
yeah. Like, I'm used to violent video games like Mortal Kombat, so I was like, I like that guy. He's violent. He looks like he'd be violent. Then he started doing ninja stuff, and I was like, oh, well, that was a letdown.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Like, I was
that's
expecting him to break arms.
Yeah,
You know,
I have a
like-
Glacier autograph hanging on my wall right now. By the way, not that I was a big fan, but just like that moment, yeah, like when he came out, I was like,
Oh,
it was such a
yeah.
big thing.
No, I totally get where you're coming from with that. Like, just his whole aura and how he presented himself to, I want to say I was 9, but apparently I was older than that. But, like, I was very impressionable at the time, and, like, that immediately hooked me. And shortly after, I discovered the cruiserweights. And Chris Jericho became my favorite of all time. Jericho is the best to me.
He's
Too
the
Okay.
bad he will never
That's gonna
like
be my
anything
next
I do.
Oh, really? Have you
He
had a
hates death
conversation with
matches.
him? Oh yeah, well yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not. No. Mm-mm.
No,
Not a fan.
he really does not like.
You,
Oh, I think we froze. You froze.
Yeah, everything froze for a moment. That was
There you
weird.
go. You're back.
You can hear me though, right?
Yep.
Still good? Okay.
Yep.
But like, it's just one of those things, man, where I know his feelings on it, and if I got to sit down and talk to him about it, I'm sure I couldn't change his mind. But I think he would respect me a little bit more about it.
He would listen.
You know,
I've interacted with him a few times, not that long ago, on his cruise a couple times, and he listens. And I'm not talking about like during a meet and greet or whatever. It's like actually behind the scenes at the middle of the night after drinks. Like he would listen. But yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what I've heard.
I feel like something because like so thanks to Brad and Juan because of the shows. Before I never really watched deathmatch wrestling, and honestly, one of the first events was like Super 8, and it showed me. So the first time I saw you, two things stuck out to me. One, Sweet Caroline. I love that song, and everyone was so like into it. I'm like, what? And then I saw the guy. I'm like, what? Who is this guy? And you took one of the worst beatings, but you also handed out that beating as well. Like when you landed on that chair, I legit thought you broke your back. I was like,
oh wait, you're talking about Insane 8.
Insane 8, yeah, Insane 8. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought you said Super 8. I was like, Super 8. I was in that movie.
Yeah, no, like
that's a hotel.
What do you do to take? And I've seen some of the other matches. You're definitely one of the guys I'm super excited to go see in the future. But like, what do you do to be able to take all this pain? It blows my mind. It just
all I do is shrug, man, because like I really don't know. Like I'm one of those people. Like I played football from like 6 years old till I was a junior in high school. Like I'm just a naturally fit person. So like whenever you see me do moonsaults, like if you notice, they rotate almost perfectly.
Yeah,
and that's because. Or when I faced Ruben, like you saw how much hang time I had on it. It's because I knew I couldn't rotate fast. Because I had 2 matches the day before that were hell on my body. So that my body just naturally turns to where it needs to go for certain rotations and stuff, and just your body just muscle memory. Like there's things I do that I can't believe I've done before, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't do that again. I didn't even think and just did it, So, but I'm way better about it now. It's fun for working greener kids per se. So I definitely enjoy that. Freaks them out.
Good. So what made you want to pick the song "Sweet Caroline"? I mean, obviously Neil Diamond, but like, is it just like?
Actually. That's actually funny because before I was given that gimmick, I did not come up with it. It's just really funny because I went by like Seamus O'Flannery once, Seamus McDuff. Yeah, I'm not even Irish. I just had some red in my beard, and everyone's like, "Stan, like the Irish dude from Notre Dame," and I was like, "You mean this?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're Seamus. You're Seamus, dude." I'm like, "I don't even do an accent. Like, you all suck."
Yeah.
Eventually, I came up with the name Sly the Redneck Extremist, and I was just thinking, like, well, I'm a redneck, and I'm the most extreme person you could think of, not realizing that means like super radical, like racist sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'd be the poster boy for like a Trump rally. Like no, I don't want that. I'm happy I got rid of that name.
Well, that's out.
But yeah, when I went to the IWA Mid-South tryouts, like I did the first one, and I was like, okay, this is obviously a different level than what I'm used to. Like this is where better people are. Like this is where I need to be if I'm going to get better. And I told my buddy on the way up, like I didn't want to do it. I was like, nah, I'm pretty much done with wrestling. Like I just need to go away. Like it's just one of those things, coming to life, coming of age kind of things. And some guys at the tryout show were like, no, you need to come back for another one if he has one and just try to get better because you have what it takes. You just need that push in the right direction. Went up and did the second one, and this time I planned out the match. First time my buddy planned it out. This time I got to plan it out. And then Ian came up to me afterwards, and he's like, hey, man, you obviously know to a degree what you're doing. Like, we'd like to have you up more. It's just we got to figure out what we're going to do with you. And then a couple weeks later, I got a call from Devin Cutter, and they're like, they want you to be in Neil Diamond Cutter. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? This has got to be a rib. Like, you're ribbing me, dude. Like, there's no way. That's the dumbest fucking name ever. Like, no, they want you to come out to Sweet Caroline. And I'm like, no. Like, no, you're ribbing me. This is all bullshit. You're, funny, Devin. What's my real name?
Like what?
Like, yeah, Devin's like, no, you dumbass. It's Neil Diamond Cutter. That's your name. You're coming out to Sweet Caroline. Watch Saving Silverman and watch your main characters. You're those three guys rolled into one with Spike and Mikey Whipwreck. I was like, all right. So I watched Saving Silverman, understood exactly what they were going for. That crazed, obsessed fan, like just a crazy person, basically. Just that I need to push it to the hardcore kind of way, more horror movie kind of stuff. And that was the birth of Neil Diamond Cutter. If you watch my first shows on IWA, like, I'm real timid. I don't really feel comfortable. Like, you can tell I do not want to do it. And then eventually I'm just like, whatever, and just start doing it and getting into it. Yeah, now it's secondhand to me. It's not, it's just a natural emotion of things I do now.
Yeah, so we had a question, a couple questions in the comments. So after these matches, or 2 days in a row matches, or whatever, or two nights, what does the next day feel like after a death match?
It depends. Back in the day, painful. Like after Carnage Cup 7, that was 3 matches in 1 day. And my third match was just Tremont giving me a pile driver and eliminating me. But my first 2 matches were so hell on my body that, like, I couldn't move for like a week. Like, it just goes to show that John Rare really didn't know what he was doing with Glass at the time. And, like, it's really that. Like, either you take a really rough bump, or you're dealing with someone who doesn't understand what they're doing. After King of Death 2010, I faced Devin Cutter, Wax, and then Devin Moore. And, like, all 3 matches took their toll, and especially against Wax. Wax was really stiff. And, not unsafe, just super stiff. Big-ass body. He's kind of hard to stop. And, after that, I felt that for about a month. And then it started easing up. After Carnage Cup, it was about 2 weeks. And ever since then, it's really not as bad. The better talent you face, the less likely you're going to be hurting as bad afterwards. It's kind of one of those things.
So of all the talent you faced, and we've heard a bunch of the bottom ones that you faced, who do you think's who's your favorite match that you've ever, who's your favorite person you've worked?
My favorite person to work is John Wayne Murdoch.
Yeah.
Like, I will do whatever the fuck he wants to do. I do not care. Just the way that we've kind of grew up and gained to know each other. We started around the same time, but we didn't cross paths till IWA Mid-South around 2010, 11. And I left because I had a child, so I took about a 3-year break and started up again at Phoenix, Arizona, with a group called Party Hard. I was there for a couple of... Yeah, they're very, very lefty kind of people, and if you know who I am, I'm a very controversial person in general. Like, I don't mind controversy, and just one thing led to another, and I ended up parting ways and moving back up to Missouri. But I jumped back into death matches in 2018, so there's about a 6-year gap between death match tournaments, and that was Carnage Cup 8 was my last tournament, and then UEW, which is no longer around anymore, Sovereign of Slaughter 3, I faced Schlack, and that was my first tournament back, my first death match back.
Wow.
And we went out there and just kind of stabbed each other. It's always a train wreck with Schlack. I love Schlack.
Cool. Yeah, he's...
as far as like my favorite match, it's a tie between sorry, to make a long story short, Schlack was my favorite match I've had since I've been back, tied with Crimson Crown, Crimson Cup 2. It was me and some green kid versus Terex and Phoenix Kid. and it basically looks like I take on a tag team by myself and win. It's great.
You're like, hell yeah.
Yes.
Well, just the flow of the match and the way that everything's kind of interconnected, like it works. For what it is, it works. And there's only 1 weak link, and we limit that link down, and you really don't notice it. So,
and that's whenever
yeah.
the true talent shows, because like they say, like, this guy's so good he can wrestle a broom, or he can work with a mop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that says a lot about the talent if you could pull that off with some green tagged, make the match feel good. You know what I mean? Like that says a lot. So
yeah, exactly.
Kudos.
Like you guys know who Jimmy Chando Lion is up in H2O?
I don't, but I'm sure some of the people in the
check out
chat say-
H2O. Like they got a good crew of kids up there. It's Matt Tremont's pretty much a trainee show.
Okay.
All those guys are like super good. Like they're all trained
Tremont's pretty
exactly
badass.
right. Very respectful kids. Good for carloads and stuff. But I was working Chando at the last extravaganza night 2. We were doing a barefoot match, and leading up to it, Chando was telling me like, "Oh man, I ruined all my chances. Like I got to work this guy, and they all pooped out." And I'm like, "Chando, this match is not about me. It's about you. So just be confident. I'm good at what I do. Be confident that you are good at what you do, and we'll be fine." And we went out there, and it ended up being his best match, apparently. I had Matt Tremont himself walk up to me and say, this is literally the best match Chando has ever had. And that blows my mind, because I'm like, we just went out there and did what I normally do.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't do anything different.
You're like, this is the match I put together. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But coming from
Yeah.
Tremont, that's got to mean something, right?
Yeah, exactly. The dude's a great storyteller. And just, if he gives you that stamp of approval, that means you did something special. You did something good for someone, and that's what I told Matt. And every time I see him, I'm like, Matt, just bring me out. I'm not worried about, this is the kind of personal, but like, I'm not worried about pay. For me, it's working those kids, showing them something cool, or showing them ropes on something, or showing them how to build a match. Like I'm all about the student growth. If I could run my own school and get paid for it, I would be more than happy to do that. Like I'm nuts about training people.
Sounds like a good retirement plan down the road.
Yeah, I live in a shitty state where no one wants to learn how to wrestle, and if they do, they want Harley Race kind of training, and I'm like, I'm not Harley Race.
Mm-mm.
Like I'll teach you everything you need to know, but
yeah, my daughter lives in Missouri. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's just bunch of morons. Like they make us do all these blood tests and shit, and I can't bleed in your state. Like, fuck you. Like, nah, I'm good.
Like, dude, have you not seen me work at all?
Yeah.
Like, who are you talking to?
I'm like, all right, limit the possibility of us making more money that you can take from us. Like, sorry. My bad.
So you mentioned not being afraid of controversy, and I kind of feel like, I mean, we're not a big show, so I don't know, but we were mentioning a certain name kept popping up before you came on, but I saw you in the I could see you backstage or behind, before we brought you in the studio, a certain talent that you worked with back in 09, 10, I think, time, that now is a pretty big name in the business. And I kind of wondered about your opinion on John Moxley, as far as where he was before and then now what he is now, and how, like, just in general. Like, I don't know if that's gonna be controversial or not. It's just the vibe I was getting from your reactions.
It's not gonna be controversial for me. Like, I'm a nice dude.
Yeah, I figured.
I usually don't down people.
Yeah, but I mean, to go from where he was, because I mean, he did work. You worked with him numerous times.
Yeah,
correct?
right. No, well,
I saw at least three or four.
I worked a couple tag matches, and I worked him once one-on-one. Once I got to tag with him, but it was more like me reaching out and then me jumping him. Like, it really wasn't us tagging. But
Gotcha.
I think I did 2 tag matches, like one where it was just a tag team, like normal 2-on-2, and then a trios match with Mickey Knuckles and Sami Callihan too. Yeah,
that was gonna be with Sammy. That's the other one I was gonna ask you about. So, like, how is it working with those guys? And then I'll seeing how they are now.
Oh, it was awesome. Like
Yeah.
I learned from Moxley just how to entertain from the standpoint of like plain drunk or just seeing how he interacted as he did all those things and how he had me interact with him. Like he got himself over with my song. Like, and now everyone's like, "Oh, that's John Moxley's song," and I'm like, "Sure." Like, okay, whatever. It's the same thing I do when people ask me about copyright. Like, do you have copyrights? And I'm like, you think Neil Diamond's coming after me? Like, no. If anything, I'm getting more people to go towards him.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You're nothing but helping him.
yeah. No matter how small the margin is, I'm helping Neil Diamond.
The direction is up.
Yeah. Well, people
The
on
views are up.
yeah, exactly. People in Boston, whenever they comment on things, they're always saying like, used to remind me of the Red Sox. They would always play it during the 7-inch stretch, and it would be so fucking annoying to hear, especially in bars and stuff, because people would play it all the time. And now it's come to the point where they think of me. They don't think of the team. They think of me now, and it always brings a smile to their face. I'm like, yeah, because I'm doing dumb shit in the ring all the time. Like that's kind of the point of my gimmick. Like, you bring me into a real serious company, I'm gonna be the only one dude making like references to pop culture and like making jokes about the way people are dressed. I gave Mike Outlaw such a problem. He's a dude up here. He worked for MLW for a while, I think.
Oh, okay.
But I saw him at IWA Mid-South in a 3-way, and I was sitting there doing commentary, and I was high as a kite. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, I see why that guy's a punk because he has a mohawk. I see why that guy is that guy because he has this jacket on. But why is Mike Outlaw an outlaw? Like, I don't get it. Nick looks over to me. Yeah, just straight up, like, I don't get it. Like, what? He doesn't have an outlaw hat on. He doesn't have wanted signs or anything on him. Like, I don't get it. Like, does he rob banks? Does he, murder people? Like, what makes him an outlaw? I like real go in depth about this outlaw thing. Well, Nick Manawa, the dude doing commentary with me, turns, he's like, Neil, that's his name. And I'm like, I know, but what makes him an outlaw? And he's like, no, Neil, that's like his name. And I'm like, I know, it's Mike Outlaw, but what makes him an outlaw? And he's just like, Neil, it's his name. And I'm like, never mind. Let's just watch the match. Wait, and then afterwards, Mike actually showed me his ID, and it said Mike Outlaw. And I'm like, oh, my bad.
Like,
I ripped you apart on commentary. Yeah, like, I felt stupid. I felt real. That's like Mickey Knuckles. Like, her shoot name is Mickey Knuckles. Like, that's not a work. That's a real name.
Wow.
Like, that's wild, isn't it?
That's pretty wild. Some things are just meant to be.
Yeah, right?
So we're speaking of names, so we want to get a name to the answers to this question. Who is the honey badger afraid of? And is it Schlatt?
No one. No one.
Yeah.
Why would I be? No, fuck that. I'm like Mario with the star, dude. I have infinite lives.
Invincible. Do you get that music though whenever you get going?
Yeah.
Boom! I was waiting to do it. Perfect.
If I ever do a bunch of like a big rumble or something, I'm just gonna do that across these. Just jump one leg at a time. Just do.
That's hilarious. We asked because we've had John Wayne Murdoch on the show, and we asked him like, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. We asked him though, as far all the injuries, all the scars. Like, what's your worst injury that you've sustained? Already a scar you've gotten, and that kind of thing. Deathmatch people like to know that for some sick reason.
Well, like recently, it was I got tennis elbow for the first time, which was really bizarre. I was expecting like something to ache after WrestleMania weekend, but I was not expecting tennis elbow of all things. But apparently from getting hit in the head with the guitar with New Jack, I put up my arm, not thinking to defend myself. And, like, apparently the corner of the guitar, like, the frame of it hit, like, right here. Okay. Like, you can kind of see that it looks kind of like an egg.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit of a shape to it.
Yep.
Like a little bit of a ball.
Mhm.
But like it was literally like this big, like this high out. Sorry, I'm trying to get this right. There we go.
Yeah,
Like
there it
that
is. There it
high
is.
out,
There you go.
like super big and like that wide, like super crazy. There we go. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. About that big. Yeah. So like it was good chunk of a softball size knot, and I was like, oh, this does not look good.
Yeah, it's not supposed to do that for that long
Yeah.
either.
People were like, guys, if it's not hotter, if it feels like it's getting sick, it's infected. Go to the emergency room. If it doesn't hurt, and it just like it hurts when you bump into it, but that's it. Just wait and see if it goes down, and it just magically started going down over the last however long it's been since Mania Week. So I just wrap it up heavily, and I think if I wrap it up maybe the next 2 weeks, it'll end up being fine. So that's the most recent one. The one I can think of way back in the day is I got gorilla pressed on the wooden skewers by Drake Younger, and a piece is kind of hard to depth, but like that big was stuck in my back, about 2.5 inches long, stuck in my back for about a week. And then eventually it forced its way out. I pulled it out. I was living with Devin Cutter at the time. And I go, see, I told you, Devin, it was a piece of wood, you dumb shit. Wasn't affected. Threw it in the trash. And he's like, you're gross. The body doesn't want you. The body doesn't want it. It's going to make its way out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to reject it.
That's why I don't freak out. I'll be scratching my arm and I'll feel the tip of like something catch on a nail. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'll just clink, clink. Oh, shit. I'll look, and then I'll just pull out a big long piece of glass and be like, "Oh, look at that!" Throw it in the trash and like just go about my day. Like, what? What? I don't feel it.
Yeah.
So I'm a little curious, but so what happened to the rest of the hooligans? I know you said you mentioned them before you wrestled with them, but what are they currently doing? Did they retire?
Yeah. They had their last match last February at Anarchy, St. Louis Anarchy. I believe it's up on IWTV. It was against Viking War Party for the last time. And that was Jake and Herzog. So Frank ended up showing up. I ended up being involved. So it was bittersweet because it was a good match and just, sucked because they were done. So now they got 2 kiddos apiece, I think. So saying they're doing good though. They're happy. That's what matters.
That's always the bottom line, right? That's the end of it. So we got a question. One more question from the fans watching, because like I said, this is a live talk show. Everyone says it's a podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
It's a talk show, so we got people watching. Ask
I
questions.
can see the question here.
Cool. They're asking about the chair spot in St. 8.
The Joker driver or the assault driver. Yeah. So I knew Oren did this prior to the match, and I just looked at him like we didn't have time to do anything. So I just looked at him and I was like, I trust you. Just went out there and we just basically worked and just had a good time with it and just learned to trust each other throughout the match. And he sits me up and I look right at where I'm going and I'm like, oh man, this could this could be potentially bad, but I'm working a good dude. Like he's a good worker, so he'll land me where I need to be landed, and everything should turn out fine. Just blind trust. When you work so many dudes, like you get a feel for a guy pretty quickly. And I've just worked so many dudes. Like usually after the first shot, I know exactly who I have in the ring with me. That's why I'm always like, give me the first hit, because I can register right there like what kind of match I'm about to have. And that.
That comes with him, 18 years in the business helps.
Yeah, exactly. Like people don't believe me when I'm like, no, I can peg people. Like I act like a dumbass, but I can peg people pretty fast, and kind of know who to trust and who not to trust, kind of right away to a degree. I am very trusting. I don't. Anywho, I'm getting sidetracked.
You have to be though, in deathmatch especially. Like if you're working with somebody and you don't trust, like you ain't gonna do half the shit that you've done.
Oh yeah, very much so, very much so.
Like that's just.
But we're up there, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, This is it. This is it. Like, can't turn back now. If I freak out, something bad might happen.
That's when it's
so I
problems,
just,
right?
yeah. When you freak out is when problems start.
Second guess in the middle, real good.
Yeah, exactly. So we just go, and as I come over, luckily one of my feet hit the middle rope as I hit the bar, so it actually helped stop my momentum because it also had some give and cushioned my blow essentially. And that's why you see me kind of pop off and then come and settle back down on top of the chair, because that actually caused me to bounce back, and just my weight just came back down on the chair, and just my body just bows real easily. So it ended up looking super sick, and overall it was fine. It kind of bothered me for a few days, but overall ended up being fine. It didn't do any permanent damage as far as I know. So, yeah. That's essentially it.
I like that. That's the disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so, whenever I put up stuff about commitment issues and stuff, like, if you think I have commitment issues, watch this. Like, nah. I'm dedicated to what I do.
Yeah, there's nobody that can question that. Thank you so much. What we normally do in the pit, we have a go home segment at the end of interviews when we have our talent interview. Usually it's 20 questions, and it's me and my partner numero dos, who wasn't able to make it. He was here in the comments a little bit, but he had a prior commitment. Bradley, man, who's a huge fan of yours and a big reason why you're here. But so
if you have his questions, we can still answer them.
We did. Some of those were the ones we put up, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
We have a go home segment where me and him alternate questions. There are 20 questions usually, so we're just going to do 10 because it's just me by myself, and it's the go home segment.
Gotcha.
These have nothing to do with wrestling. It's kind of just a last little thing to just get a little vibe from the thing on our way out. So are you
cool?
So Honey Badger, are you ready to go home?
Yeah, dude, I'm always fucking ready.
Okay. Number one, what's a funner way for countries to settle differences besides war?
Water balloon fights.
Nice. If you were transported to 400 years ago with no clothes or anything at all, how would you prove you were from the future?
Oh gosh, that's a good one.
I try.
In the past. So when would that put me, in the 1600s or 1500s? Would it?
1700s.
Like it'd be.
Yeah.
What is it?
1600s. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it'd be around the 1600s. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That's Victorian era. I would probably just want to get dumped off somewhere in Ireland or the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it wouldn't be odd to see a naked man running around.
Yeah.
The way I would prove that I'm from the future, gosh, that's a hard one, man. How would you figure that out? That's actually a really good question. Like, you got my brain actually thinking. I like this question.
We can circle back.
Let's circle. Let's circle back to this one. Yeah.
We got a bonus question. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
According to the commercial and the company, it takes 5.
Oh, is it 5?
No, is it 4? Because 1, 2, 3.
3. He just says 3, even though it's the fourth one. It's a botch. Yeah, the commercial's a botch. It says 4, but it says 3. But you're right.
At least I know my counting isn't wrong.
No, exactly right. Most bizarre thing you've ever eaten?
Probably gator. But that's only because I'm not very cultured yet. Like, I love sushi. Maybe eel or gator. Yeah, that's probably the weirdest thing. I've never eaten a scorpion or a spider or anything like that. Yeah, gator probably those two. I'd like to try monkey brains. Like, I'm a weirdo. I want to try all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I'm same. I'm like, they call me like a goat. I eat everything. They put those things on Facebook, like, which of these things would you not eat? 1 point for everything you wouldn't eat. I'm like, 0.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I'll eat everything once. I mean, it might be the last
That's
time I
fair.
eat it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll try it once.
What magical power do you wish you had?
Probably the ability to become invisible, because then I can sneak onto places, like sneak into places, and like just be able to show up wherever the hell I want to show up when I want to. You know, it'd be easy to steal things. So,
Yeah, it would be.
like, just take a couple cell phones and there you go, bing, bam, boom. I fucking can make $1 million.
There you go. If you could trade lives with anyone, who would it be?
Trade lives with? Do I get all their abilities but keep my mind?
Ooh,
Yeah.
We'll say yes.
Or is this like actual, like me just switching places with someone
No, it's
with my
your
skill set?
I would say it's your spirit and mind in their situation.
Okay, so we'll just say the brain is transferred and all the knowledge comes with it.
Correct.
Okay. Probably I would probably have to say Jukasai, just because he's gone through a lot and he just seems like a nice fellow. Like, he just seems like a super nice guy. Like, who knows what he does outside of wrestling, but I'm sure he's a super interesting person. Like, I would love to just sit down and talk to him for like 20 minutes about the most random of things.
Kind of like what we're doing now. Is there a pot of gold? Is there a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
I don't know, but if you collect all 7 Dragon Balls, I know it will grant your wish.
Nice.
If you know Dragon Ball Z.
I'm sure people watching do. I don't. I don't know anything.
You know, on my you know those yellow balls on my jacket that have like stars on them? Those are called Dragon Balls. And if you collect all 7, a dragon appears and will grant you a wish.
Nice.
So I collected all my Dragon Balls and wished to be famous, and now I'm becoming famous. Boom. So there you go. I got my wish.
So it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Do aliens exist?
It'd be ignorant to say no. So I'd say, yeah, of course they do. Technically, we already found them. They're called parasites and little microbiology bacteria things. Found them on asteroids. So technically, life has already been found.
I like it. I knew I was going to like that answer. Would you rather your only mode of transportation be on a giraffe or a donkey?
Oh, I'd have to say donkey. Only because if I really need to get, if I have to, my ass can kick someone's ass. So that'd be that and I'm a short dude. Like, I would need a ladder to get up on top of a fucking giraffe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they're not exactly the kindest of animals, you know.
No.
Like, I could take a bat to a giraffe's knee and like break it. Like, nah, donkey, you gotta shoot that motherfucker.
Yeah, you gotta shoot that motherfucker in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you rather be compelled to give high fives to everyone you meet or give wedgies to anyone in a green shirt?
High fives to anyone I meet.
Nice.
Only because I can wash my own hand. I don't have to worry about theirs, because whenever I get on it, if I really am not worried, like, Perel, thank you.
Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly.
So usually the 20th question, last question, all the other ones are always random, but the last one's always the same. We end the show with the same question. So I'm going to end this. Do pineapples go on pizza?
Personally, no, but I don't hate anyone who does.
I'll take it.
Only because it still boggles me when you mix like sweet and salty. That still kind of boggles me a bit. Like, even like chips, like when it has vinegar and salt on it, like it just confuses my brain. It's like, nah, you need to make a choice, one or the other. Like, don't be picking all these different types. Don't get mad. Don't get mad at a comment.
It's a polarizing question that we have here in the show that just really divides the crowd every time, and it divides me and Brad as well. So I'm on your side, and we're good. And I'm the host.
Neil Cutter is going to play peacemaker real quick. All right. If you don't like pineapple on a pizza, don't make fun of people who don't like, or who do like pineapple on a pizza. If you like pineapple on a pizza, don't make fun of people who don't like pineapple on a pizza.
So this is our last episode of In the Pit because he just ended our show. Because that's the whole basis of what
we can all get along, guys. That's all I'm saying.
That's so great. So great, man. Well, thank you so much. They said solid advice. That's solid advice. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, Brad was probably crying with your initial answer, just for the record. He was probably crying because he loves pineapple on pizza.
Now, don't get me wrong. I will try it, but
yeah, well, we've accomplished that. We said that we'll try anything, right?
Yeah. Like I'll give it a shot. It's just I'm gonna be wary about it and probably pretty judgmental. Like just to warn you, like it boggles my mind, you know. Like I didn't like mushrooms either unless it's mixed into something. Like straight mushrooms. Like I don't need that on a pizza. You know, just me, man.
Yeah,
exactly. It ain't hurting me that others are eating pineapple pizza.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for going over. Like, this has been awesome.
Oh,
I didn't realize we went over
man.
15 minutes on the time. Thank you so much.
Good.
It was great. I enjoyed it. This is kind of my first. I mean, Angel was here a little bit for the interview, but this is kind of my first solo interview. So it's pretty cool. I think it went well. Usually I have Brad to bounce back for. So you were one of the first. Been doing this for like a year and a half, 2 years almost. And so the first one. So it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
All right, cool, man. I like popping single cherries. It's fun.
Let everybody know if you have social media, where they can follow you, where they can see you, where it's coming up. Give you a chance to promote yourself if you want to.
On Facebook, you can find me at Neil Cutter. I think it's a bloody picture of me. You can find me on Instagram at NDCPOD. I believe that's also a bloody picture of me. And then at Twitter, it's at Fearless Neil. And that one will just be my face, like in this type of background, because they put a block on my Twitter because I had a picture of me in blood. And I was like, really? Like, it could be fake for all they know.
Yeah,
like,
it could be
whatever.
Yeah,
exactly. I've seen plenty of, like chicks can show bukkake on them, but I can't show blood on me. Like, what? Makes no sense, man. That's the hard left pushing you right there, brother.
Boom. And that's the perfect out right there. Thank you again, man. So much. Perfect mic drop, man. Thank you so much. Be safe.
Peace.
Another episode in the book, guys. Appreciate all y'all watching. Thanks for hanging in, the ones that hang in there with us, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.